Welcome back to the channel. It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and Helldivers is making waves once again. And there's just so much to cover in today's video, from the Illuminate and their continued hit and run planet hopping to another patch. That's right, we got back-to-back patch updates. Helldivers was spotted on secret level. We've got dev responses, and of course, the Killzone crossover is now live and in the game and already stirring up some controversy within the Helldiver community, with some already dubbing this as a new Wealth Divers sub-faction. But before we dive into all of this, thanks again for your continued support. The channel is now less than 700 subscribers away from hitting my personal goal of 250,000. And in case you're new here, take a moment to hit that sub button, as it's free and it really helps promote the channel around the far corners of YouTube. Likes, comments, and shares do much the same. And while you're at it, ring that notifications bell so you never miss one of my future upload alerts. And now it's time to check in on all the latest from our favorite managed democracy spreading shooter, Helldivers. Normally, we would start off one of these videos with a quick Superstore roundup, but based on what's going on with it right now, we will touch on it just later in the video because I've got thoughts on everything that's going down. So instead, let's first touch on Amazon Prime's secret level and the Helldivers making an appearance in yesterday's episode. Now, if you haven't seen any of these, some of them are actually really cool, especially the Warhammer episode, which just goes hard AF. But the latest edition does have some familiar faces appearing as Helldiver troops are chasing the main character and, of course, spouting democracy-loving vocals while doing it. Now, I can't play the video in the background in its entirety because it would get hit with a copyright strike, or at least I think it would, but I highly recommend you check it out. It's Season 1, Episode 15, titled Playtime Fulfillment. Next up, we got yet another patch that went live this morning as update 1.002.203 targeted a few more crash fixes, and it's not that big, as it was only 56.9 megs for me on PC. Included was a crash fix for a 100% crash affecting players within range of an Illuminate tower during ion storms, along with matchmaking improvements to reduce wait times, forced disconnections for specific gameplay conditions during Illuminate missions, which, let's be honest, is the majority of players' time right now. And the devs have also fixed a bug with the Siege-Ready Armor passive not affecting ammo pools when joining an ongoing mission. Now, as someone that prefers primary weapon use, the Siege-Ready passive is big time for the better reload speeds and more primary weapon ammo, especially when you pair it with the supply backpack. It's a formidable 1-2 combo, although it has been bugged since launch and applying to more than just primaries. Moving along to the servers. Oh my, I was seeing the server queue error pop-ups this morning en masse, and I think Arrowhead has sorted that one out because you couldn't even skip the opening intro when I tried to log in. You just had to sit there and take it until it finished, which isn't entirely bad because the visuals are incredible. But once you do get into the game, expect to see 3 new dispatches pop up. Now, the first one says, Andar and Acubans Prime have come under simultaneous attack by Illuminate forces. And by the way, more on that in just a second. The second dispatch reads, recent developments indicate that the current Illuminate attack pattern analysis methodology may require redress. The process has been placed under review under further notice. And finally, we got this one about a new experimental weapon. It says, High Command has temporarily authorized early deployment of the experimental STA-X3 W.A.S.P launcher support weapon to all Illuminate incursion sites. I was able to record a little bit of gameplay this morning using the W.A.S.P, but sadly the majority of it got corrupted. But it's basically a multi-rocket launcher backpack combo firing what looks to be medium pin projectiles. Now, you can drop things like a harvester, but it's going to require the use of a lot of ammo, the shields need to be down, and it's probably going to require a lucky hit to the leg weak points. Now, where the W.A.S.P really claps is against the elevated overseers, requiring only a couple of rockets to destroy, and it cleans up the vote lists that are also caught in the blast. It also has 2 different ammo types you can toggle through, and again, this thing is free right now for any divers taking on the Illuminate. So drop me some feedback and let me know what you're thinking of it overall. Is it great, good, bad? Sound off in the comment section, along with any secrets or tips you may have for other divers. All right, we might as well address the elephant in the room. Helldivers 2 and the Killzone crossover apparel event that went live this morning. Now, when it comes to crossovers, I've seen suggestions from the community ranging from Starship Troopers to Star Wars, Titanfall, and basically everything in between. And the devs did address this situation when Mitchimus said, quote, "The important thing is we make these make sense. We are very defensive of Helldivers as a brand, and we don't want to end up in situations where it doesn't make sense." So it sounds like Fortnite wouldn't be a good fit for this. And we've also seen Johan hint at a few ideas for crossovers with past responses. For instance, we know that he absolutely adores Warhammer 40k. As a quick recap, we also know that from a couple days ago, coming in from noted Helldivers data miner and leaker Iron Sights, that a Killzone crossover event was indeed in the works, and I reported on that here on the channel. And here we are a few days later, it's now live. So, first off, let's talk about the positives. It's Killzone. So it's a known franchise that does pair very well with Helldivers. Now, unfortunately, Killzone, which was PlayStation's counter to Xbox's Halo, never really got that kind of traction, but the designs and story lore do have similarities between these two franchises. Next up are the designs, and overall, I've got to say they do look good. The new AC-1 dutiful armor is strong, but the Hellgast helmet is what really takes the cake here. I mean, the eyes even glow in the dark, and when paired together, it's not a one-to-one faithful recreation of these cosmetics, but it's clearly heavily inspired by Killzone with Helldiver's own spin on that universe. There's also 3 more cosmetics, including a cape, title, and player card, and red and black are always a strong color combo. Different than any other past Superstore offerings is the fact that we now have a weapon that can be purchased here in the Superstore. The STA-52 assault rifle shows base stats of 70 damage, 56 capacity, 19 recoil, and a rate of fire of 790, along with light armor pen. And in terms of what we already have in the game, think of this new assault rifle as an enhanced Liberator with the same base damage, but higher mag capacity, a bit more recoil, and a higher rate of fire. Also, according to the developers and based on player feedback, the Superstore timer for these cosmetics has been increased up to a total of 5 days, giving players more time to pick them up and or farm for more super credits while planetside. There was also some player concern about this being a one-time offering, therefore driving up the fear of FOMO and spending, to which community dev Mitchimus responded multiple times with, "It will be in rotation." So, if you miss it this time around, or you just can't pick up all the items in the next 5 days, it will be placed into the Superstore rotation, and you'll have other chances. I mean, for instance, just yesterday, we saw the all-black Genro armor, which was one of the new Superstore shop types appear. And remember, that was one of the newer full shop offerings, along with cosmetics and banners that released back when Truth Enforcers went live. There have also been player concerns about standard Superstore shop rotation prices being raised in the future, to which we saw this, quote, "The price is only for the collab. We aren't planning on raising the prices of the older Superstore items." And again, there was clarification made that the W.A.S.P launcher itself is not part of the Superstore rotation, as it's free to test out right now, and like previous items, will be tied to a future major order to fully unlock. So just to quickly recap, we've got Killzone now live in the game. I mean, it looks great. There's a new assault rifle in there as well. The W.A.S.P is tied to future major orders. The Killzone shop rotation was buffed up to 5 days. And according to the devs, when the Superstore returns to its normal rotational pattern, no price increases. So what's the issue, if there even is one? Well, there is for some. A big f***ing issue, and it comes down to a couple of factors. The first being price. All told, to purchase everything, it's going to cost you 1,975 super credits, meaning this Killzone collab Superstore rotation is $20. And when you contrast that to the base game price of $40, it starts to stick out. $5? Okay, maybe even stretching up to $10. I mean, you love the game, you want to support the devs, you plunk down those $10 to rock the Hellgas look in Helldivers, and overall, it's a win-win. But when a cosmetics bundle alone costs half of what the entire base game does, players are going to push back. And here's just a few posts from the Helldivers Discord. New sub-faction just dropped, Wealth Divers. Could you let the higher-ups know of our dissatisfaction with the pricing? It's way too overpriced for a simple crossover, despite SCs being grindable, SCs being super credits. And listen to this final one. Is Arrowhead high? It's almost $2,000 to afford all items on the Superstore page alone. Why are we putting weapons in the rotation now also? I thought they said cosmetics only. Greed all the way. Rebalance the prices. Listen, I look at things in very simple terms. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Along with the fact that you've got actions and consequences. And there's no argument you can make to me. There's nothing you can tell me that the game Helldivers 2, which reportedly took Arrowhead 8 years to develop. I mean, we're talking things like devs grinding, salaries paid, working through COVID, sick leave, vacations, R&D, trial and error. Basically, 8 years of that to release the game at a $40 price tag compares to an art team that maybe spent a month tops to get these items ready. Probably less time than that, to be honest. And it releases at half of what the base game cost to buy. I mean, I know this scenario sounds stupid, but that's like buying a home for $500,000 only to be told that you could paint the walls yellow for an additional $250,000. And I already know the argument some people are going to make. It's optional. You don't have to buy it. You can always just grind for free super credits while in missions, and you might even have enough saved up right now to buy everything here, but that's not the point. And hear me out. Back when Truth Enforcers dropped, we saw the Gen Row armor come in at 1,000 super credits. And by the way, that's the same as a full war bond cost, and players at that time were like, whoa, this is out of control. And here we're seeing with this Killzone collab, that bar has now been raised by a whopping 100%, 2,000 super credits. That's $20 to pick up all these items. This kind of slope is a dangerous one for a game developer to walk on. Again, $5 to $10 without a weapon, I don't think we're in this situation, but that's not the route Arrowhead decided to go. Also, I wanted to point out that the armor passive on the Dutiful Armor is currently specialized to just this armor. Now, that might change in the future, but a 50% resistance to fire, gas, acid, and electrical damage built into a medium armor makes this one of, if not the goated armor to have right now in the game. You're telling me I can bring in a Swiss Army armor set that gives me 50% resistance to all electrical damage in the game, so I can bring in a full gas setup and still have some enhanced durability versus Illuminate arc damage, or maybe I pack on fire weapons with this armor and I have that kind of resistance tolerance to terminids. I mean, this is a really powerful passive, and again, it's tied to this armor that alone costs $5. For anyone that follows my channel, you know I call a spade a spade. I don't hold back with my feelings. When the work is solid, I'm gonna say as much. When it is sus, I'm going to call it out. This Killzone Superstore has so many positives going for it, but putting a weapon in there when we were told in the past would not happen, to have a really strong armor passive that's exclusive to this armor set, and then to see the pricing model, it leaves a bad taste. And we are seeing that coming from the Discord and other posts where players are questioning the exact same things I'm verbalizing here in the video. I don't think this is a case of FOMO. I mean, I guess it could be, but the devs have already said all of these Killzone items will enter the Superstore rotation once these initial 5 days are over. And I also don't think this is a case of pay to win, because what are we paying to win? PvE missions? I mean, there's no PvP, there's no Call of Duty enhanced footsteps paid upgrades here, but the pricing is truly shocking to a Helldiver player base that's accustomed to 1,000 super credit full war bonds, and seeing a weapon in here, albeit not a god tier item along with that armor passive, it taps into a vein far more intense and destructive than that of FOMO, the eroding of trust. Plus, according to the developers, this is part 1 of a 2-part Killzone collab. According to Mitchimus in this statement, part 2 coming the 23rd of December. Sometimes, and kind of like we've seen in the past, Arrowhead is Arrowhead's own worst enemy, and it really feels like with some more critical and player-friendly design choices, this could have been a massive and resounding W, but from what I'm seeing, it landed more in Mixedville. As always, I'm going to look forward to reading your feedback about anything and everything Helldivers. Remember to hit subscribe and ring that notifications bell so you never miss one of my future upload alerts. All my socials, including links to all of today's sources, can be found down in the video description. We are edging oh so close to 250K. If you haven't hit subscribe already, please do so. It's free. It really helps out the channel, and you can be a part of the team as we make that last little push up to 250K. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer signing off.